All right, welcome to Before Floor, an extension of 5 on the Floor on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Sponsored, as always, by friends over at Biscayne Bay Brew. I'm going to have a few of these tonight while I watch the game. The Heat play the Pelicans tonight. This, of course, Pale Ale. We've got the Marlins Lager, the Biscayne Bay IPA, which is my personal favorite. I need some more. Tomorrow, we're actually going to see them at their new brew house. We're having a Miami Grill lunch. Myself, Matt Perdomo, Kyle Wang, Alfredo Arteaga, some of the members of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. We're going to be down at the new brew house down the street from the arena, which is where we're going to start doing watch parties once COVID passes, of course, with the official beer of the 5 Reasons Sports Network and the Miami Marlins. All right, let's get right to it. I've got a short stint here today, so I'm going to dish to Greg here in a second. But let's just start with the news. Bam Adebayo is not playing. Jimmy Butler is playing, made the trip. I thought maybe they'd hold him out through the end of the first half, but obviously they lost the other night. When he made the trip, it was pretty clear he was going to try to play. Bam made the trip, apparently, but is not going to be active tonight. Let's just start here. What do we expect? I know Brady's going to be joining us shortly because he's on the calls. What do we expect, Greg, for a starting lineup?
That's an interesting question. I hadn't really thought through who they would insert, but maybe this is the chance that you can give Precious some run here at the end, right before the break. Having Jimmy back, I'm pretty surprised actually if they were going to sit Bam out. And he did have a moment in the game against Atlanta where he looked like he got banged up all of a sudden, and he played a couple possessions and he looked like he was like walking gingerly, and then he shook it off and he looked fine. And it's just interesting to see if that's what's sneaking back up or what's going on there. But you just got to get him healthy. But I would imagine Precious is in line, right? I mean, they got to give him a shot.
Yeah, but do you play Precious? Here's the question, Jonathan. Do you play Precious? Play Precious. You play Precious and pray. Do you play Precious with Olynyk? I guess you don't have any bigs then off the bench unless you're going to play Silva.
I mean, yeah, you can start that, and then you can start an early rotation of pulling Andre Iguodala off the bench, and you can switch in Iguodala and maybe give Kelly Olynyk an early rest, or give Precious an early rest, because Precious has already done a great job earlier in the season guarding Zion. So if you're putting Iguodala, you don't want to bang him up and put him on Zion. And there's no way Kelly Olynyk, Mo Harkless, or KZ Okpala can handle Zion. So I think the best way to go is probably going to be start with Precious, because he's the only guy on this team now that can actually contain Zion a little bit.
Well, and Zion has been reported as doubtful. Also, just want to mention that. So,
well, that would help. It would serve TNT right, because they keep forcing the Pelicans down. Well, I mean, they're interesting, but it's a little much at this point. But it does seem like every time that the Heat have a national TV game, somebody's out. This has been a consistent theme for them, and it happens again tonight. And again, you don't want to go into the break under 500. It would have been a psychological lift to get to 18-18 tonight. But obviously, at this point, you mitigate the damage without Bam. But Jimmy back in the starting lineup. I would assume that Goran Dragic goes back to the bench, right? None, and so maybe gets a little bit and maybe Nunn starts again still, I would assume. Dragic off the bench with Herro to sort of get their rhythm back.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you nailed it. It's just about who they kind of plug in up front. I think that the backcourt has kind of settled itself. And, if they don't have Zion and the Heat have Jimmy, and if Jimmy is going to play extended minutes tonight, I feel like the Heat should win this game. So even despite not having Bam, I would expect them to be able to pull this out. So that's just kind of how I look at it. Even though I know Brandon Ingram is really talented, if Jimmy's active and he's going to play a full load tonight, I would expect the Heat to try to get this one.
Well, we would expect the Heat to try to beat the Clippers when the Clippers didn't have 4 starters, too. The Heat tend to play down to whatever the competition is that's there. A lot of talk today, again, I mean, players that the Heat may go after. Let's touch on this one more time, and then I'm going to kind of leave this to you guys again, to Greg, to run point here. I guess we got Brady joined. You know what? Let's do this. Let me swing it to Brady, and then I'll let you guys debate Cousins versus Griffin here in a second. Brady, anything new from the calls?
No, not really. It's just that they just wanted to be proactive, as he said it with Bam Adebayo, give him time during the break. And Butler has just been improving every game, so he's good to go.
This is, by the way, Bam's second missed game, I think, over the past 3 years. other
Yeah.
than the finals. His second missed game over the past 3 years. He's been the one constant, the guy who's always in there pretty much every game. All right, I'm going to drop a bomb here, and then I'm going to go.
Oh,
Cousins, you can have one bought out. Cousins or Blake Griffin? Go. I don't have you waiting for the answer.
I'll say Blake.
Cousins.
Oh, Blake Griffin, without a doubt. Come on. So, I heard somebody say Cousins. Make that argument, please. Let's do that first.
I don't know. I think it's about the same, right? Yeah. What's the difference? What would be the difference for you?
Upside, I think.
Yeah.
You feel better about the upside with Blake Griffin. If you take
but right now, like the actual level of both players right now, like what would be the difference between them?
Right now, they're probably pretty even. I would say they're both at the bottom of their careers. But like I said, that there's a higher reward if you go after Blake Griffin than I feel like Cousins. You know basically what you're getting. You're not going to get a high reward player.
Okay. And he could fit perfectly next to Bam. That's the perfect guy, especially when playoff time comes. You know, just kind of that Jay Crowder role. Maybe he has some kind of career resurgence here. I mean, who really wants to play in Detroit? You know what I mean? So motivation has to be sort of a factor here as well. And I think Blake Griffin is a perfect guy to put up next to Bam. He doesn't have the speed like he does before, but if Bam switches out, he would be a perfect guy to have underneath to at least be able to contain some bigs down low and at least get some defensive rebounds.
Right. So we had a question here. Wait, did I miss the bomb? I don't know. Ethan just asked that.
He's trying to spark debate here, but I just feel like Blake Griffin, just the way you saw Jay Crowder have a bubble run, like what if Blake Griffin could just lightning in a bottle? He has a run where he, shoots well enough from the edges and has a little bit of his old athleticism, gets re-inspired. I don't know. I think it's worth the try, and it's part of why I think they may be a little non-committal on the trade market, because they're going to be anticipating these kind of buyout players becoming available. So
Blake just fits perfectly.
Yeah, this is we have a question about if Blake can jump. According to Eric Reed, Blake can't do anything, and I think that just having Eric Reed have to call Blake Griffin games, like that would be a fun punctuation to Blake Griffin's career, because it looks like it's winding down fast. But if we talk about tonight's game, which I don't see lineups out yet, but we do know we have Jimmy, but we don't have Bam. Do you guys think that Spo's going to deploy the regulars? Do you think Jimmy gets a full load tonight, or do you think that it's going to be kind of a game where they ease off heading out of the into the break?
Mm-hmm.
I think if he's playing, I think that he's 100%. So I think he would have the normal load. Because if you see what they're doing with Bam, they would 100%. I don't think they would do it with Jimmy if he was not 100% ready tonight. So I think he's going to have his normal load. I think without Bam, I would expect probably Precious to jump in there. I feel like there's other options there, but it makes sense with the way the Pelicans run their offense is just basically inside out. And obviously not having Zion hurts that a little bit, but I think you throw Precious in there. It's a good game to kind of have him get some run like that. But I do expect Butler to be pretty much exactly what they've missed the last couple games.
Jonathan, lots of Heat fans are clamoring for Lonzo Ball, and we're going to get a chance to watch him tonight. I saw a couple of people on the timeline already predicting that he's going to embarrass the Heat and eat them alive. Do you think Lonzo Ball makes a big impact tonight? And then just secondarily, how do you see him fitting in Miami? Like, do you even think that that's a viable option looking into free agency next offseason?
Yeah, it all depends on how much he wants. But as far as fit goes, I feel like he would be perfect as the point guard of this team. He would be that guy that can have it's a defensive stopper. It kind of brings back memories of that Winslow, Bam, Jimmy trio of just defense that really just rotates on each other. They can really play well off each other. As well as I feel like he can create some easier buckets for Bam, get him some good looks around the rim, and as well as develop Precious's game as well. So I feel like Lonzo's a good guy to have on this team. His three-point shot is developing better. He's just becoming a better player overall. He's getting better every year. He has a really high ceiling. He was a number 2 pick for a reason, so he does have a high ceiling. So I feel like if he comes to Miami, it would fit perfectly as somebody who could play perfect next to Jimmy and Bam. As far as if that's a finals making move, I'm not sure if that's a finals making move, but that definitely does make this team better.
So they're about to head into the break somewhere around 500. We don't know where it'll shake out, but it's going to be damn close. Within a game, we'll say. And so going into the second half, big picture, like, do you guys, what is success, right? Like, is success just relative to they get the 4 seed, but they're still kind of a middling 500 basketball team? Is that success? Or is it that they need to, play 7-8 games above 500 in the second half of the season in order to really establish themselves as a winning basketball team? Brady, I'll go to you first. Like, are you looking at this relative to the parity of the standings, or do you expect the Heat to kind of rise up above like they were last year?
Well, if you're talking about expecting them to be a lot healthier in the second half of the season, they were in the first. I'd expect them to be a lot better. Obviously, they're going to be around that 4 or 5 range, I'd expect, because I think Philly, Brooklyn, and Milwaukee are going to be, pretty distant in the top 3 seeds. So I think they're going to aim for that 4. They just have to, like you mentioned, they have to just try to just battle above that 500 mark. I don't think they're going to be able to get above, like what you said, 8 games. I don't know if that's really going to be possible, but I think this team is a lot better if they're a 4 seed. Even though it sounds kind of crazy, they like being in that kind of range. They like playing teams like that. They like battling it out. So it might not be the worst thing. I do think this game is maybe a little bit more important than some may think, because going into this week off, I think 18-18 feels a lot better than 17-19. It just does. And I think if you can win this game and restart, like they mentioned, clean slate, 0, basically 0, heading into after this break, it's a big push starting it off.
No, I think that's a really good point. And another reason why, I guess, when I questioned whether they were going to go full bore with Jimmy, that was ridiculous. They're absolutely going to do that. I want to pivot to Tyler Herro before we start to wrap up our portion of the show. And I did want to mention our fearless producer, Alejandro, has the interviews of, it was Tyler Herro and
Goran Dragic. So make sure to stick around so you can check those out. So those will be playing on the channel directly following this. But Jonathan, where the hell was I going with that? What
Tyler
the
heck
was?
Thank you. So he didn't play well, and he looked bad. Like, it was one of those games. There's rare moments where he looks timid or kind of like just out of it, and he kind of looked like that in the last game. And he was out on the court afterwards, shooting around. Do you think he bounces back, and how important is it for Tyler Herro to kind of get back to the level that we've come to expect from him?
It's very important. He's really supposed to be the third scoring option, maybe if the second scoring option, depending on where do you want Bam to be. But you want him to carry a heavy part of this offensive load. So it's going to be really important for him to be a key part of this team as far as trying to win this game and moving forward overall. As far as if I think he's going to have a bounce back game, going against Lonzo and going against Eric Bledsoe is a tough challenge as an offensive player. I don't really see him having a great maybe field goal percentage game, but I'll see him putting up maybe, 16, 18 points on around that many shots. I can see him having an inefficient game, but still scoring a lot more than last game, and probably spreading out that scoring instead of having it all in the third quarter. Have a couple buckets in the first half, have a couple buckets in the second half. With no Zion, I think it's going to be a little bit easier for him to get to the rim. He has a great touch around the rim, and he was showing it early in the season. So if he can get back to that, start a little bit of inside out, maybe hit some layups, then some mid-rangers, then hit out to the 3, I think that's when we'll see the best version of Tyler Herro.
Yeah, I hope we see it tonight, man. We need to get him on track. Him and Nunn firing on all cylinders together would be really nice to see heading into the break. So this is a TNT game. Who's going to say the dumbest thing?
Well, I think we lost Greg, but
is it Shaq?
Yeah, I think we know where he was going with that.
Yeah, so you start, Brady. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the obvious one is Shaq, probably for Nikias, so he can get him tweeting about it. So I would probably go with Shaq.
What about you?
If I can't go Shaq, Chuck usually says some pretty stupid things. But honestly, Chuck always kind of will give us some credit when everybody else is not giving us credit. And then when everybody else is giving us credit, that's when he'll kind of shoot us down as a team. So if everybody else is going against us on that TNT crew, I could see Chuck probably maybe at least giving some shit to us.
All right. Before we let you guys go, how do you feel about tonight? Is the Miami Heat going to the break with a 500 record or not? How do you feel, Brady?
Yeah, I think this is a win, as I mentioned. I think, Jimmy Butler is going to be 100% because he wouldn't play if not. This is a game that they want to get. They want to go 500 going into this week off. They want to come back 0-0. 17 and 19, as I mentioned, is not very much the same thing. So I think this is a game they're really going to have to get. Zion not playing helps their chances a lot more because they can't run the normal inside-out game as much as they like to. So it changes some things for them. So I think they get this one.
How do you feel, Jonathan?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about this game. Once Zion was out, I wasn't as worried that if we were missing Bam, this game was just going to be an absolute terror for us, especially on the glass. We were out rebounded by 19 in our last game against the Hawks. So as long as we were able to keep the reboundings close and do a good job defensively, like we were, like we have been, I feel like this can be a good game where we get a win. If Spo can do some scheming against Brandon Ingram like he was against Trae Young, I think this could be a game where we see Atlanta, cut the head off the snake and just kind of let everybody else try to beat you from there. But I think we do get a win tonight.
Right. So we have our friend Ricky Mark. What's up, man? How you doing? You almost did the Alex thing when you almost got here right before we leave. But how do you feel about tonight's matchup against the Pelicans?
Yeah, I had a good reason. Y'all know that. How do
You
I
have
feel
five
about
reasons. All right.
how do I feel about tonight? Well, honestly, I'm legally required to say that Miami's going to lose tonight because the last time I said Miami was going to win, we lost.
They not only lost, they sucked.
Yeah. So Miami's going to get spanked. It's going to be really bad, and Lonzo's going to have a 45-point triple-double tonight.
When was the last time that was done? You're the historian.
James Harden.
Yeah.
I think it might have been this season, actually.
I think it was last season, 50-point triple-double, wasn't it?
Would not shock me. Shock me. But here's the thing. Aside from that, look, we know what they are. From what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but Zion's not going to be playing tonight. That big toe is serious. At the same time, I don't believe Bam's going to be playing, but I believe we'll be getting Jimmy back tonight. I was trying to catch some of what you guys were talking about a little earlier while I was elsewhere. But look, Jimmy's knee, a knee issue is nothing to mess around with. You don't want to overextend someone's knee, especially when that was the issue. But right now, it's obvious Miami can't seem to last more than a game without this guy. So there's a good chance if Spo doesn't lean on him heavy, Jimmy's going to lean on himself heavy, and he's going to do everything he can to make sure Miami wins tonight. That said, for the basketball gods that are listening, I'm legally required to say that Miami's going to lose tonight. Okay? Just saying.
Right. Okay, thank you, Ricky. So anything else you guys want to add before we go ahead and listen to Goran Dragic or Tyler Herro? Jonathan, Brady, you guys are good?
No,
I think
let's
we're
get
good.
this win.
All right, let's just go get that win. Ricky, we'll see you on the post-game show, right?
Yes, if Bam's not playing
Bam's
tonight,
not
is
playing.
it?
You have to pick another
stipulation.
Big Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Or Herro.
scores 25 points.
Okay, well, no, Jimmy scoring 25, that's a given. We're going to need all 25 of him. But if
You're
Tyler
right.
Herro scores
20
points and they win, I'll be on the post game.
Okay. You heard it here. So now you guys know right after the game, of course, we're going to have the post-game show with the guys here. Thank you, Jonathan.
Those guys are good. Y'all want to tune in.
Yeah. They're good and they're funny. So go ahead. Oh, they're doing actually, now that you said that, I don't know if it's going to be the same show because it's going to be the Clutch Corner. So right after the game, you're going to get the Clutch Corner show that you guys are used to. So make sure as soon as the game's over to get here to the 5 Reasons YouTube channel and enjoy that show as well. So thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Brady. Thank you, Ricky. Now let's go ahead and listen to our friends from the Miami Heat. We have Goran Dragic and Tyler Herro from earlier today in the shoot-around. Let's go ahead and play that for you guys as we wait for the starting lineup for tonight's game against the Pelicans. So let's go and listen first to Goran Dragic.
Hey, Goran, good to see you.
Before the game.
I know you guys still have one more to play tonight before the All-Star break, but I guess kind of just looking back for the past 2.5 months, how would you sum up, what the challenges that this team has faced, whether it's injuries or protocol issues or just different things like that, and kind of and how you guys have navigated through those issues to get to where you are right now, where you're 1 win away from getting to the break, right back at 500?
It's a bit tough. Every team in this league is going through those times. it was not easy, like you said, with those protocols, with injuries, but we feel like we bounce back. We need to finish the job tonight and try to get, back in 500 and, take that break, try to recover a little bit and then finish the job strong.
And you individually, I think the longest string of consecutive games you've played in is 8 so far this year, is because of the injuries and you were out for 2 games because of protocols yourself. Has it been hard to find a rhythm like for you? Like, what's that process been like to find the rhythm that you want when you're you're in and out and you kind of really haven't had too much of an extended run so far this year?
I mean, it's not easy. I deal with it as much as I can, and try to look for positive stuff. We still got one more game, and then after the All-Star break, hopefully we're gonna find some consistency in playing time, not only as me but as a group, as a unit, the whole team, so we can get back to that. To us.
Thanks, Goran.
Tim Reynolds, AP, go ahead.
Good morning, Goran.
Good morning.
I wanted to Anthony asked you to look back at the last 2.5 months. I'm going to ask you to look back too at the last year, if you don't mind. What have you learned, I guess, since this pandemic started? Obviously, everything in the world has changed, but what have you missed the most? And do you think it's ever going to be the same way again whenever that new normal kind of hits?
What I miss the most is socializing, to be around the people, to hang out, to have a good time. And, last year it's been tough on everybody around the world. But we need to stay strong and try to go through that. And, it's been tough, but like I said, we have to go through it, and sooner this stuff is over, can't wait to get back to normal and to enjoy life again. So to speak.
You have the break coming up. I know you still have to test, but are you kind of looking forward to just a few days to yourself where if you want to go somewhere, I guess you can, or something along those lines? Or how much are you looking forward to just that little bit of a break?
I mean, if I'm honest, I already had a break. I was hurt for 2-3 weeks, so I spent home treatments and get back. I was not with the team, so basically that was my break. But I do feel like that the team needs it. Try to recover batteries, and I just I'm gonna stay in Miami and every day try to go to the gym if that's gonna be possible, and try to do some work. So.
Thank you, G.
Ira Winderman, Sun Sentinel, go ahead.
Or on the NBA in 2 years to change the policy, so the trade deadline came first, and then there was All-Star break to sort of make it easier on the players to readjust and relocate. What's it like to come back from the All-Star break and know there's still 2 weeks to the trade deadline, especially when this team was active at last year's deadline, that there still might be changes coming?
It's part of the business, so that's it. Everybody going through that. I don't know. I feel like I'm a broken record. I said it so many times. It's part of the business, and the only thing what you can control is how you play on the floor. So, it's not easy on players. When the trade deadline it's close, but at the same time we are all professionals, so we need to be ready and do our job. So.
Thanks, Goran.
Cooper Moorhead, Heat.com, go ahead.
Hey, Goran, I'm going to ask you to look even further back. Since you've been with the Heat, Spo has, changed up the defense a few times, going from one different base scheme to another. The league has changed, offensively during that time. And has it felt like year to year Spo has been tweaking the defense to fit the personnel, and have the principles changed as far as what his goals are defensively, and it's just the way that you guys get to them remains or changes?
You know, every good coach makes adjustments, and Coach Spo is one of those top coaches in the league, and he showed that through all these years. And you have to make adjustments, especially on your personnel. Who you have on the team. What's their strength. So basically, he's putting a system around the players what's the best fit for them, for us. And that's how he's approaching every year. And I think so. That's amazing what he can do with his ability to coach those young players or different players, and just to feel them comfortable in the system and to believe. And he did an amazing job all these years that I was here, and even before me. When he had a big three and all those guys before that.
Thank you.
Wes Lamy, worldwidewest.com. Go ahead.
Hey, Goran. Goran, what stands out to you when you see the way that, Bam is usually involved off the court and in community work?
A lot. Not only Bam, everybody. Bam is that guy who he's not selfish. You can see that on the floor. He wants to get involved everybody. And that's the same Bam of the floor. Of the floor. He's making everybody better and their lives much easier. And I'm proud of him, what he's doing in community. And he's one of those guys that he's gonna be there as a leader, as a vocal guy who people are gonna follow, and that's him.
Thank you.
All right, Goran, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was Goran Dragic earlier today before the game. You remember the Miami Heat plays the New Orleans Pelicans here in about an hour at New Orleans. Of course, it's going to be a national TV. It's going to be broadcasted by TNT. So if you guys are looking for the channel, that's going to be played on TNT tonight. So now let's go and listen to Tyler Herro and what he said also today before the game here after the shoot around. All right, so let's take a look at that.
What's it like to be named to the Rising Stars game and not have a Rising Stars game?
It's a great honor. It's my second year being nominated for it, and my second year not being able to play. So I haven't really got the full experience of it, but like I said, it's a great honor to be voted into that game.
Tyler, they've reversed things this year because of the weird schedule. In recent years, they had moved the trading deadline ahead of All-Star break, so guys could sort of get used to who the team is if they had to readjust, things like that. Instead, now you'll be coming back to resume the season exactly 2 weeks before the trading deadline. What's it like to still sort of have that period of uncertainty that even after the All-Star break, you might still not know who your team is, because even last year you guys made such a major deal?
Yeah, you never really know, in this league, things change, day by day. And this year, like you said, it's a little bit different because of the scheduling. But, for me, it's just controlling what I can control. And I'm sure that's what it is for the rest of the guys on this team.
Thank you.
Well, Manso, go ahead.
Hey, Tyler, I had a couple quick questions, on the court related. I'm doing a story on the Top Shot, the virtual cards that have become really popular. And when you go on their website, you see you front and center. I was curious what you thought of it. What do you think of the technology, the idea that instead of a paper card, it's almost like a virtual trading card?
Yeah, I think it's really unique. I think it's, obviously different. Like you said, it's pretty much like a virtual trading card. I like it a lot. I think it's going to be big, over the next, X amount of years. Who knows? But I think it's going to be very big, continuing to grow as more people, migrate towards, virtual trading cards. I think it'll continue to grow.
I'm curious, too, if I can follow up. There's one of the cards on there is actually yours, the classic shot of you in the finals and the snarl and stuff. It's $186,000. What do you think of the idea of someone paying $186,000 for that?
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know people spend that type of money on, trading cards virtually or, regular trading cards. So that's crazy.
Tim Reynolds, go ahead.
Tyler, I was only going to go up to 185 for it, so that's my bad that it went to 186. I'm sorry about that. The break, you guys still have to. I know you still have to test every day or get tests sent somewhere or all of that, but how much will even 3 or 4 days away from the monotony and the season, how much can that lift spirits? How much can that help you guys?
I think it would be good for everybody, us, the players, the coaches, the staff, everyone, is ready for a couple of days off. Even though we have to test or, every single day, I think it'll be good for us, as a team. And like I said, for everyone around the organization, just to get a couple of days away. And when we get back, we can really ramp things up and get ready for the second part of the season.
And can you kind of give us the backstory on, did you approach Quinny the other night and said, let's go back out there? Did he go to you? Was that frustration? Was that just feeling like you need more rhythm? Like what was your mindset going back on the floor after the game the other night?
Yeah, I approached Quinny, just wanted to get some extra shots up. I've been missing time with some injuries, so I just wanted to get back out there and try to catch a rhythm and, just get back into the flow of things.
Anthony
Nice
Chiang.
hat, by the way.
Thank you.
Hey, Tyler. You're still taking, I think, 5 or 6 threes a game, but a higher percentage of your shots are coming from the mid-range, and you've been, pretty efficient in that area too. How comfortable are you on that part of the floor, and kind of what's the balance like of, taking advantage of that part of your game, but also striking the balance of, understanding that the three-point shot is, quote unquote, the more efficient shot?
Yeah, just trying to find the mix between two. I think, each game is different with who we have out there on the floor, and then, just the schemes that the other team is, presenting us on defense. So I think just mixing in between both, I think I'm comfortable in both, all three levels, scoring the ball.
Thank you.
All right, Tyler, that's it. Thank you.
Right, that was Tyler Herro, also earlier today, talking about the next matchup for the Miami Heat tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. Of course, that's going to be starting around 8:30 tonight on TNT. So let's go and listen. For all of you that are just getting here, Jimmy Butler is back, and he's probably going to be back at the lineup, at the start lineup. Bam Adebayo, though, he's out, so he's not going to be present in the game tonight. So let's go and listen to what Erik Spoelstra had to say last game, or right after last game, after they lost to the Atlanta Hawks by 14 points at home. Let's go and listen to Erik Spoelstra.
Being off with the shots early and that carrying over, or what did you see that sort of created something we haven't seen from this team in a while?
Yeah, you have to credit them. They played with good passion defensively, but we didn't help ourselves either. We missed some open shots, and then the ball got a little sticky in the second half, where we weren't necessarily moving it or getting off it early, but we've been much better than that. We've been trending much better, offensively. It was a flat offensive game. It was not a fluid game for us on that side of the floor.
Erik, you were so good and consistently good against Trae Young, really for 7 consecutive quarters, and then boom, boom, boom with those 3-pointers. Was that a matter of him creating his own space or getting a little bit more in transition? What happened to really that moment of truth with those 3-pointers?
Yes, sometimes you're always, when he shoots them that deep, even when he's missing, or the guys in this league that have that kind of range, you're always wondering, like, is that good defense or is that not good defense? Because they're typically, even if you get a little bit of a contest, it's not the same kind of contest you would get at the 3-point line or inside. He was just able to get, some airspace really on a pick and roll, and it wasn't actually at the point of the pick. It was several seconds after, just kind of isolating, and then raising from pretty deep. Two of them, I think, were 28 feet. But great players can do that, and you can create separation pretty quickly.
And then look at the box score. This is just something I don't think I've ever seen or can recall. Bam with just 2 rebounds, and Capella just sort of dominant with 17. Is this just sort of the fatigue of the season you think maybe wearing on Bam as someone who needs a week off now? Or what sort of happened with the rebounding battle tonight? Thank you.
Well, that's a team thing. I mean, there's probably an example of several different guys in some kind of grappling match with Capella at different points in the game. That certainly was not just Bam. I mean, there was in many instances it was more often other guys due to whatever the coverage, whether it was zone or in rotation. He just did in this 2-game set. Capella did a tremendous job on the glass, leveraging position and just pursuing and grabbing with 2 hands. That definitely hurt us in both games.
Thank you, Eric.
Next we have Anthony Chang.
Hey, Spo, even despite the first half struggles, third quarter, the offense kind of woke up a little bit, but in the fourth quarter was tied with 7 minutes to go. Specifically in those final 7 minutes, what did you see that kind of led to the game turning in Atlanta's favor?
Well, Young hit those 3 shots that immediately made it a double-digit game. And then we took some quick ones that kind of fed into it and just went from there.
All right, Coach, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that was Coach Eric Spoelstra a couple of nights ago. We have a couple of questions here coming up in the chat. Jimmy Butler is playing, for all of you that are asking. Zion Williamson is doubtful. The Pelicans put him as doubtful about an hour ago. He has irritation in his 5th toe. That's the description the Pelicans wrote in their Twitter account. So he's doubtful for tonight's matchup. Why is Bam out? Let's go ahead and check it out real quick. What's the official report by the Heat? If we remember, we have to go by whatever they're saying. So on Bam Adebayo, we just want to be proactive about it, particularly before the All-Star break, and make sure we take care of it right now. Coach Eric Spoelstra talking about Bam Adebayo and his left knee tendonitis. So left knee tendonitis, he's going to be out, ruled out for tonight's matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans, and that's the reason. Jimmy Butler, another one with problems in his knee, will be back for the game, so he will be playing tonight. Talking about what Steven Adams will do. Does that mean Precious starts and Silva slots into the rotation? I don't know if that's going to happen. For Clarence Jean-Louis, we did it. We had Brady Hawk, we had Jonathan, we had Ricky, we had Greg, we had Ethan, all of them in different moments of the pregame show. We just had to start a little bit earlier because Ethan had a meeting, an important, very important meeting for 5 reasons, and we just could do it at that time. So sorry if we started a little bit earlier than usual. And if you want to watch it from the beginning, just go back. It's right here. You can watch it, and it has all the analysis and all the possible situations that the Miami Heat is going to face tonight. All right. So sorry if we changed the broadcast time at the last minute. It's just what happens in live production. I'm sorry. Bam is the knee. Can you say my name? Why is Bam out? We just explained it. Left knee? Yes, or right knee. Let me see. Left knee. Left knee tendonitis is the problem for Bam Adebayo. Jimmy Butler will play, though. He will be available for tonight's game. Let's go Heat. Thank you very much for all your messages. Remember, you can, if you want to support us, you can go ahead and send us some super chats down here in the comments, and that's gonna be awesome for you guys and for all of us, of course. Do you have the starting lineup? We don't have the starting lineup yet. It's we're still a little bit less than an hour away from the game, about 45 minutes, so we don't have it yet. We do know that Bam Adebayo is out and Jimmy Butler will be back, so that gives you an idea of what can happen there. We'll see if I don't know who takes that role of Bam there. If it's Silva, maybe Olynyk gets Olynyk has been starting. Maybe he goes up and they use Mo Harless. We'll see what happens. He started Herro playing. Yes, he's available for tonight's game. Thanks for the clarification. Thank you, and we're sorry. You can go back the 4 minutes and start from the beginning, and you'll see the guys talking there. So thank you very much. Vincent is also available. Much needed win for real. Yes, Florence, you're right. A win will mean Miami Heat going into the break with a 500 record, and that's of course very important. So before we go, we're gonna close out with Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson is gonna be our guy to close it out tonight. We're gonna listen to what he said right after the game. They lost to the Atlanta Hawks a couple of nights ago, 94-80. So let's go ahead and listen to Duncan Robinson and close this pregame show out with that. All right. So thank you very much for joining us.
Seems to throw in a couple of these every now and then. Is it just as simple as 3-point shots aren't falling, or is it the way the offense is running, or is it the way that what defense is doing to you guys?
We can win games without making shots. I don't think it's just one thing. I think that we just got to continue to trust it and work to get good ones. And, as long as we do that, defenses are going to be disruptive and do different things to try to guard us. But, there's always counters and there's always ways to still be effective. So, we just got to find solutions.
And yet you got on a roll there in the third quarter. I mean, what was it like to finally break free and to hit those three and sort of position the team after a little bit of the sort of first 6 quarters you've had against them?
Yeah, man, just trying to be a spark. I wish I had gotten a couple more to go, quite frankly. But it's that's a game of basketball. Not always going to go in. So, I just try to be aggressive and do my job in that regard.
And then Duncan, the rebounding. You just had one today. They out-rebounded you guys 47-26. Was it their physicality? Was it you guys being caught in rotations because of the zones and the traps? What led to such a sort of imbalance in the rebounding, please? Thank you.
We have been better about it recently. It's definitely something that's kind of plagued us this year, defensive rebounding. I certainly need to be a whole lot better. I know I'm capable of being a whole lot better. But yeah, it's, you can't just point it at one guy. It's got to be by committee and it's got to be a group effort.
Thank you.
So next we have Anthony Chang.
Hey, Duncan. Obviously, this team is better when Jimmy's out there, but just offensively, what changes in the way you guys have to generate offense when Jimmy's not playing?
The obvious one is just our attack game. The pressure he puts in the rim and his ability to get to the free throw line. And a lot of times, if you're getting to the free throw line, you can control the game and the pace. So, I think that's obviously something that I think really sticks out. And he's a really unselfish player and gets people involved too. So, he's dynamic. He does a lot of things offensively and defensively.
The 3-point contest participants were announced tonight, and obviously you weren't on there. You were not invited. I just wondering if you were invited at all.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I was just wondering if the 3-point contest participants were named today, and obviously your name wasn't on the list. I just wanted to check if you received an invite at all, or if it never came.
Oh no, I didn't get an invite. It's not like I'm shooting the ball out of this world, quite frankly. But not saving it, but hopefully we can make some more shots here in the second half of the season, or starting Thursday, I should say. But I'm not sure. I didn't get an invite. I'm not sure if they're doing guys just at the game or what. So we'll see.
Thanks, Duncan.
All right, Duncan, that's it. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, that was Duncan Robinson rocking a great Barcelona shirt right there a couple of nights ago. Of course, we're waiting for the starting lineup to come out. We're going to go ahead and close this pregame show. As we said earlier, we had to start the show a little bit earlier than usual. We always try to do it 1 hour before. Today we had to start it an hour and a half before we actually started in a normal day. So a couple of comments before we go. Must contain Ingram tonight. The Heat will make the playoffs. Zion might not play today. Yeah, he's very doubtful, so he's not going to be playing probably. They should sit Bam and start Precious. Well, we're not going to go that way. Bam's not playing tonight, so he will not play. Maybe Precious does start. Brady Hawk said that would be the best idea for this Heat, especially the way the New Orleans Pelicans offense runs from the inside out. Maybe that's a good idea to put Precious right away from the starting lineup. That would be something different, right? So we'll see what happens there. I thought about this game, and I think that he will win. Thank you very much for your comment. Anthony News, thank you. Do you think Jimmy will score 35 plus? Oh, I wouldn't go 35 plus, but he is my price pick tonight. So go ahead and go to PricePicks.com, register using the promo code 5FIVE, and get a 100% match on your deposit. That's gonna be you're gonna love it. If you put $100 there, you're gonna get 200 to play. And you know what? If Jimmy scores more than 22 points today and Kyle Lowry does the same, I will get also that type of reward. Those are my two price picks for today. So I don't think he's gonna score more than 35, but I hope he does score more than 22. Will Zion play? We don't know yet. We'll see what happens. we don't have the starting lineups at this time. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. As usual, we're gonna have the live score going on here in a second, a couple of minutes before the game starts. And of course, that's going to be there here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember to subscribe to our channel, to give your thumbs up here, leave your comments, and of course, always support our crew in the post-game show, joining us as soon as the game is over. So thank you very much for being here in the pregame show for tonight's matchup between the Miami Heat and the New Orleans Pelicans. And we'll be back to you right after the game with the Miami Heat post-game show that is going to have the Clutch Corner crew going on and talking about the game and the first half of the season, because this is the last game before the All-Star break. So have a good night, enjoy the game, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.